Hello everyone, welcome to Trauma-Informed Care Training. Trauma-informed care shifts the conversation from what's wrong with you to what happened to you, and it's a key part of our services that our board funds. This slide outlines different types of trauma that may be experienced by persons served or staff or just general community members. The one that we wanted to highlight today was something called secondary or vicarious trauma, which would be experiencing a trauma-related response in relation to helping someone or empathizing with someone else who has experienced traumatic events in their life. Trauma affects the mind, and it's different from just a regular bad event that many of us experience throughout our lives. We experience bad events, but those are different than traumatic events. Trauma causes an array of emotional and cognitive reaction. The cognitive triad really outlines how it changes the view about yourself, the view about the world, and the view about your future. It can affect the body in numerous ways outlined here on this slide, including extreme fatigue, hyperarousal or startle response, numbing, triggers and flashbacks, but common things like sleep disturbance and elevated cortisol levels can also result. It's important to remember that what happened is not nearly as important as what the trauma means to that particular individual. You can have several people go through the exact same events, and not everybody would consider that to be a traumatic event for them. Trauma could be, somebody in different populations could be more at risk of developing a traumatic response, including people who have experienced racial trauma, individuals with disabilities, persons with substance abuse, children and youth, LGBTQIA communities, and veterans. Trauma-informed care can be used in any service setting. It shifts away from the provider knows best to more of a together we can find solutions. The 6 principles of trauma-informed care are highlighted on this screen. It includes establishing not just physical but also emotional safety, being trustworthy and transparent in interactions, offering peer support, people with lived experience, collaboration, empowerment, voice and choice, and understanding cultural, historical, and gender issues. Some ingredients for building resiliency include having a strong sense of community, social supports, and individual skill level building resiliency. So trauma is treatable. Some people seem to be born with more resilient than others, but anyone can develop resiliency throughout their life. Also on this slide are some highlighted unique cultural aspects to resilience. Some effects that trauma may have on clinicians and people working in the field is burnout, secondary traumatic response, compassion fatigue, and something called moral injury. Half of all mental health professionals report moderate to high burnout. 15% of master's level licensed social workers meet the criteria for PTSD. 1 in 5 providers treating family or sexual violence survivors experience symptoms of secondary traumatic stress. And 34% of child protective workers experience PTSD symptoms due to indirect exposure to traumatic events. Becoming a trauma-informed organization requires that you do these 4 R's. Realize the prevalence of persons served and the general population of trauma, recognizing how trauma affects everybody involved, responding to trauma, and adding that into organizational policies, procedures, and practices, and resisting re-traumatization for persons served and staff. 5 elements to trauma-informed care include doing an organizational assessment, making a paradigm shift to more of a strengths-based perspective, safety, creating safe, therapeutic, physical, emotional, psychological environments for persons served and staff, wellness and self-care, and everybody's included, including training your frontline staff, your paraprofessionals, your indirect care. Every contact that an individual has with somebody at your organization either contributes to a safe and trusting environment or detracts from the safe and trusting environment. 6 strategies to promote resilience in staff members would include offering peer support, a strong emphasis on supervision and consultation, training to help them understand trauma and provide a sense of mastery, personal counseling being offered or available, maintaining balance in their lives or work-life balance, and engaging in meaningful or spiritual activities. Here's a list of some resources. The full publication from Relias is linked last, and then the Relias website where you can also download this publication is listed first. Please reach out with any questions. Thank you so much.